Your greatest enemy isn't out there. It's within you. The battleground isn't some far-off place. It's in your mind. And the war is waged every single day in the choices you make, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you take. Now, you might be thinking, how can I destroy an enemy without fighting? The answer is simple, yet profound. You become so strong, so capable, so confident that the very idea of opposing you becomes laughable. Think about water for a moment. Water doesn't fight the rock in its path. It doesn't argue with the mountain. It simply flows. It finds a way around, over, or through. And given enough time, water can carve canyons through the hardest stone. That's the power you have within you. The power to overcome any obstacle, not by brute force, but by persistence, intelligence, and adaptability. Every challenge you face, every person who stands in your way, every setback you encounter, these aren't your enemies. They're your teachers. They're opportunities disguised as problems. They're chances for you to grow, to learn, to become better than you were yesterday. When you shift your perspective like this, something magical happens. The world transforms. Suddenly, there are no enemies to fight. There are only lessons to learn, skills to master, and heights to reach. Fear for a moment. Fear is often our biggest enemy. It whispers in our ear, telling us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. It paralyzes us, keeps us small, stops us from reaching for our dreams. But here's the truth, just false evidence appearing real. It's a mirage, a trick of the mind. And the way to destroy this enemy isn't to fight it head on. It's to walk straight through it. Every time you do something that scares you, you grow stronger. Every time you face your fears, they shrink a little. And before you know it, what once terrified you becomes just another stepping stone on your path to greatness. Now let's consider the people in your life who might seem like enemies, the competitors, the naysayers, the doubters. How do you defeat them without fighting? You outshine them. You become so good at what you do that their criticism becomes irrelevant. Remember, success is the best revenge, but it's not revenge you're after. It's excellence. When you focus on being the best version of yourself, on constantly improving and growing, you'll find that those who once opposed you will either fall away or become your biggest supporters. Energy flows where attention goes. When you're focused on fighting your enemies, you're giving them your energy, your time, your thoughts. But when you focus on your own growth, on your own journey, you're investing all that precious energy in yourself. And that's where the real magic happens. Because as you grow, as you improve, as you become more of who you're meant to be, you'll find that the concept of enemies simply fades away. You'll be too busy climbing to new heights to worry about who's trying to pull you down. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about approaching them with a different mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as things to fight against, see them as opportunities to grow stronger. When you encounter resistance, don't push back. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? This shift in perspective is like alchemy. It turns the lead of adversity into the gold of personal growth. Your habits are the invisible architecture of your daily life. They shape your actions, your thoughts, your very being. And here's the kicker. Your habits can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The beautiful thing is you have the power to choose. You can cultivate habits that lift you up, that move you forward, that make you stronger, or you can fall into habits that hold you back, that keep you stuck, that weaken you over time. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. Will you hit the snooze button, or will you leap out of bed ready to seize the day? Will you reach for that sugary snack, or will you fuel your body with nutritious food? Will you waste time scrolling mindlessly through social media, or will you invest that time in learning a new skill? These might seem like small choices, but they add up. Day by day, choice by choice. You're either moving closer to your goals or further away. You're either becoming the person you want to be, or you're staying stuck where you are. When you use the secret, make the choices that align with your goals and values, you're destroying your enemies without lifting a finger. Because your real enemies aren't other people. They're the parts of yourself that hold you back. The laziness, the self-doubt, the procrastination. By cultivating positive habits, you're starving these enemies. You're cutting off their supply lines. You're making them irrelevant. And in their place, you're building something powerful. Discipline, confidence, momentum. Mindset for a moment. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, the stories you tell yourself, these shape your reality. You believe you're not good enough, guess what? You won't be. If you think you can't achieve your dreams, you won't. But if you believe in yourself, if you trust in your abilities, if you know deep in your bones that you're capable of greatness, well, that's when miracles happen. This isn't about blind optimism or ignoring reality. It's about choosing to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. When you encounter a setback, don't let it defeat you. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from these? How can I use this to become stronger, smarter, better? This mindset turns every failure into a stepping stone, every mistake into a lesson. And here's the beautiful thing. When you adopt this mindset, your enemies, both internal and external, lose their power over you because you're no longer fighting against them. You're simply growing beyond them. A tree for a moment. A tree doesn't fight the wind, it bends, it sways, it adapts, and in doing so, it grows stronger. Its roots dig deeper, its trunk grows thicker, its branches become more flexible. The wind, which could be seen as the tree's enemy, actually helps it become more resilient. You can be like that tree. When life throws challenges your way, don't resist them, don't fight them. Instead, use them, let them shape you, strengthen you, help you grow. This approach requires patience. It requires trust in the process. It requires a long-term perspective. But the results, they're nothing short of transformative. Here's the truth. True strength isn't about dominating others. It's not about winning every battle. True strength is about mastering yourself. It's about becoming so secure in who you are, so confident in your abilities, so clear in your purpose that the idea of having enemies becomes obsolete. When you reach this state, you'll find that people who once opposed, you now seek your advice. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable now look like exciting opportunities. And the person you once were filled with fear, doubt, and insecurity becomes a distant memory. This journey of self-mastery isn't easy. It requires constant effort, unwavering commitment, and the courage to face your own shortcomings. But it's the most rewarding journey you can embark on. Every day you have the chance to take a step forward on this path. Every choice you make, every thought you entertain, every action you take, these are all opportunities to grow, to improve, to become more of who you're meant to be. And as you progress on this journey, you'll find that your influence on the world around you grows. Not because you're fighting against anyone or anything, but because you're radiating strength, confidence, and purpose. People are naturally drawn to those who have mastered themselves. They're inspired by those who face life's challenges with grace and determination. They want to learn from those who have turned their potential into reality. So instead of focusing on destroying your enemies, focus on building yourself. Instead of trying to tear others down, concentrate on lifting yourself up. Instead of wasting energy on conflicts and confrontations, invest that energy in personal growth and self-improvement. Remember, the most powerful person in any room isn't the one who can defeat everyone else. It's the one who has no need to prove anything to anyone. It's the one who is so secure in their own skin, so confident in their abilities, so clear in their purpose, that the very idea of having enemies becomes laughable. This is the state you're aiming for. This is the goal of your journey. And every step you take towards this goal is a victory. Every time you choose growth over stagnation, learning over ignorance, self-improvement over self-pity, you're winning. You're defeating your true enemies without ever raising a fist. The power of focus. Where you put your attention determines the direction of your life. If you're constantly focused on your enemies, on the people who oppose you or the obstacles in your way, that's where all your energy will go. And energy is a finite resource. You only have so much to give. But what if, instead of focusing on what's against you, you focused on what you're moving towards? What if, instead of obsessing over the problems in your life, you directed your attention to the solutions you can create? What if, instead of worrying about who might be trying to hold you back, you concentrated on how far you can go? This shift in focus changes everything. Suddenly, the enemies that seem so formidable begin to fade into the background. The obstacles that look so intimidating become mere stepping stones. And the fears that once paralyzed you, they transform into fuel for your journey. When you're driving a car, you don't focus on the ditches on either side of the road. You keep your eyes on where you want to go. If you stared at the ditches, that's where you'd end up. The same principle applies to your life. Focus on your destination, not on the potential pitfalls along the way. This doesn't mean ignoring real threats or burying your head in the sand when problems arise. It means approaching challenges with a solution-oriented mindset. It means asking, how can I use this situation to my advantage? Rather than, why is this happening to me? When you make this shift, you'll find that many of your perceived enemies simply cease to be relevant. They might still be there, but they no longer have any power over you because you're not fighting them. You're simply outgrowing them. Consider the example of a successful entrepreneur. They don't spend their time and energy trying to sabotage their competitors. Instead, they focus on making their own product or service so good, so valuable that competition becomes irrelevant. They're not fighting against anyone. They're simply striving to be the best version of themselves. You can apply this same principle to every area of your life. In your career, don't waste time worrying about office politics or trying to outmaneuver your colleagues. Instead, become so good at what you do that you become indispensable. In your personal relationships, don't engage in petty conflicts or try to prove yourself right all the time. Instead, focus on being the kind of person others want to be around. This approach requires a certain level of detachment. Not detachment from your goals or your values, but detachment from the need to control everything and everyone around you. It's about recognizing that the only thing you truly have control over is yourself. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. When you fully embrace this truth, it's incredibly liberating. Suddenly, all the energy you are spending on trying to change others or fight against external circumstances can be redirected towards your own growth and development. There's the beautiful irony. The less you try to control others, the more influence you tend to have. The less you fight against the world, the more the world seems to open up to you. The less you worry about defeating your enemies, the more likely you are to win in the game of life. This isn't about becoming passive or accepting injustice. It's about choosing your battles wisely and recognizing that the most important battle is always the one within yourself. It's about understanding that true power doesn't come from dominating others, but from mastering yourself. So how do you put this into practice? Start by taking inventory of where your energy is currently going. Are you spending a lot of time and mental energy on conflicts, on trying to prove yourself right, on worrying about what others think of you? If so, it's time to redirect that energy. Set clear goals for yourself, not in terms of what you want to achieve externally, but in terms of who you want to become. What qualities do you want to develop? What skills do you want to master? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Once you have clarity on these questions, focus relentlessly on moving towards these goals. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do today to become more of the person I want to be? Then take action, no matter how small. Remember, progress is often invisible in the short term. You might not see results immediately. But every positive action you take, every good habit you cultivate, every step you take towards your goals, it all adds up. Over time, the compounding effect of these small, consistent actions will be nothing short of miraculous. And as you progress in this journey of self-improvement and personal growth, you'll notice something interesting happening. The people who once seemed like enemies will either fade away from your life, or they'll be inspired by your example and become allies. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable will become opportunities for growth and learning. Most importantly, you'll develop an unshakable inner strength, the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're becoming the best version of yourself. And this inner strength is the ultimate protection against any external enemy. When you're secure in who you are, when you're clear about your values and your purpose, when you're consistently taking action towards your goals, you become invincible. Not in the sense that nothing can hurt you, but in the sense that nothing can stop you from getting back up and moving forward. This is how you truly destroy your enemies without fighting them. You make them irrelevant. You grow so strong, so capable, so full of purpose and positive energy that the very idea of having enemies becomes absurd. You'll reach a point where you no longer see people as enemies or allies, but as fellow human beings on their own journeys. Some might temporarily stand in your way. Others might walk alongside you for a while, but ultimately, you'll recognize that everyone is fighting their own battles, dealing with their own struggles. This perspective breeds compassion, and compassion is a superpower. It allows you to connect with others on a deeper level, to understand their motivations, to find common ground even with those who seem to oppose you. And here's the thing about compassion. It's not weakness. It doesn't mean letting others walk all over you or accepting bad behavior. True compassion comes from a place of strength. It's about understanding others without necessarily agreeing with them. It's about maintaining your boundaries while still seeing the humanity in everyone. When you cultivate this kind of compassionate strength, you'll find that many conflicts simply dissolve. Because most conflicts arise from misunderstanding, from fear, from insecurity. When you approach these situations with compassion and inner strength, you create space for resolution and growth. This doesn't mean you'll never face opposition or challenges, but it does mean you'll have the tools to handle these situations in a way that uplifts you rather than drags you down. You'll be able to respond rather than react, to choose your actions based on your values rather than your fears. And that's the key, choosing your actions. Every moment of every day, you have the power to choose. You can choose to focus on the negative or the positive. You can choose to see obstacles or opportunities. You can choose to react with anger or respond with understanding. These choices might seem small in the moment, but they shape the course of your life. They determine whether you'll be constantly fighting against the world or flowing with it, whether you'll be drained by endless conflicts or energized by continuous growth. So make these choices consciously. When faced with a challenge, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, how can I respond to this in a way that aligns with my highest values? How can I use this situation to become stronger, wiser, better? This approach requires practice. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about getting back up every time you fall, about learning from every mistake, about using every setback as a setup for a comeback. And as you practice this, as you consistently choose growth over conflict, understanding over judgment, self-improvement over blame, you'll find that your life transforms. The energy you once spent fighting against the world can now be channeled into creating the life you want. You'll become a beacon of positivity, attracting like-minded individuals who support and inspire you. You'll develop a resilience that allows you to bounce back from any setback. You'll cultivate an inner peace that no external circumstance can disturb. This is true power. Not the power to defeat others, but the power to uplift yourself and those around you. Not the power to control external circumstances, but the power to control your response to those circumstances. This power comes from within. It's not something you can buy, borrow, or steal. It's something you cultivate day by day, choice by choice. It's the power of self-mastery, and it's available to anyone willing to do the work. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I actually do this? How do I develop this inner strength? The answer lies in your daily habits and practices. Start with your mind. Your thoughts shape your reality, so guard them carefully. Be aware of your inner dialogue. Are you constantly criticizing yourself? Are you focused on what could go wrong? If so, it's time to change the conversation. Speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. When you face setbacks, treat them as learning opportunities rather than failures. This isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing a perspective that empowers you rather than defeats you. Next, focus on your actions. Remember, it's not enough to think positive thoughts. You need to back them up with positive actions. Set goals for yourself. Realistic, achievable goals that stretch you just beyond your comfort zone. Then take consistent action towards these goals. It doesn't matter how small these actions are. What matters is consistency. The small step taken every day will take you further than grand gestures made once in a while. Want to write a book? Start by writing 100 words a day. Want to get in shape? Begin with a 10-minute walk. Want to learn a new skill? Dedicate 15 minutes each day to practice. These small actions might not seem significant in the moment, but over time they compound, they build momentum. They create tangible results. And most importantly, they build your self-confidence. Every time you follow through on a commitment you've made to yourself, you're proving that you're someone who can be trusted, someone who does what they say they'll do. This self-trust is crucial because when you trust yourself, when you know you can rely on yourself to take action and follow through, you become truly unstoppable. External circumstances might try to knock you down, but you'll always get back up. People might try to discourage you, but you'll keep moving forward. Why? Because you know you can count on yourself. Relationships. The people you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your life. They can lift you up or drag you down. They can inspire you to reach for your dreams or convince you to settle for less. So choose your company wisely. Seek out people who challenge you to be better, who support your goals, who bring out the best in you. And be that kind of person for others. Remember, the best way to have great friends is to be a great friend. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life who doesn't meet your standards. It means being intentional about who you spend most of your time with and who you allow to influence your thoughts and decisions. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you naturally attract like-minded individuals. People are drawn to those who are passionate, purposeful, and positive. So by working on yourself, you're also improving the quality of your relationships. Now let's address fear. Fear is often the biggest enemy we face. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown. These can all hold us back from reaching our full potential. But here's the truth about fear. It's just a feeling. It's not a fact. It's not a predictor of the future. It's simply your body's way of telling you that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And you know what? That's a good thing. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So instead of trying to eliminate fear, learn to dance with it. Acknowledge it, thank it for trying to protect you, and then move forward anyway. Every time you do something despite feeling afraid, you grow stronger. You expand your comfort zone. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And over time, things that once terrified you become manageable, even enjoyable. This doesn't mean you'll never feel fear again. It means you'll develop the confidence to know you can handle whatever comes your way. And that confidence is far more powerful than any external enemy you might face. Failure for a moment. Many people see failure as the ultimate enemy, something to be avoided at all costs. But this perspective is holding you back. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It's not a sign that you're not good enough. It's a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself, that you're growing. Every successful person you admire has failed countless times. The difference is they didn't let those failures define them. They used them as stepping stones, as learning opportunities, as fuel for their journey. So embrace failure, welcome it. Seek it out even, because each failure brings you one step closer to success. Each failure teaches you something valuable. Each failure makes you stronger, more resilient, more capable. And when you adopt this mindset, something magical happens. The fear of failure loses its power over you. You become willing to take risks, to try new things, to step out of your comfort zone, because you know that even if you fail, you'll learn and grow from the experience. Now let's address comparison, another common enemy that holds many people back. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. Social media shows us carefully curated highlights of other people's lives, making us feel like we're falling behind. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Your journey is unique, your challenges, your strengths, your goals. They're all specific to you. Comparing your journey to someone else's is like comparing apples to oranges. It's not only unfair, it's meaningless. Instead of looking at others and feeling inadequate, focus on your own progress. Celebrate your own growth. Appreciate how far you've come. And if you must compare, compare yourself to who you were a year ago or 5 years ago. That's the only comparison that matters. Remember, success isn't about being better than everyone else. It's about being better than you used to be. It's about continuous improvement, about becoming the best version of yourself. And that's a journey that lasts a lifetime. Gratitude. In our quest for growth and improvement, it's easy to focus on what we lack and what we still need to achieve. But this constant focus on what's missing can leave us feeling dissatisfied and unfulfilled. Gratitude is the antidote to this discontent. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It helps us appreciate the progress we've made, the blessings in our lives, the opportunities before us. Make gratitude a daily practice. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee in the morning, or something as profound as a loving relationship. The size of the blessing doesn't matter. What matters is that you take the time to acknowledge and appreciate it. This practice does more than just make you feel good. It changes your brain chemistry, reducing stress hormones and increasing feel-good neurotransmitters. It improves your mood, enhances your relationships, and even boosts your physical health. And here's the real magic. We in growth aren't mutually exclusive. You can be grateful for what you have while still striving for more. In fact, gratitude can fuel your growth by giving you a positive outlook and the energy to pursue your goals. Now let's address a common misconception. Some people think that this approach, focusing on self-improvement rather than fighting external enemies, means becoming passive or accepting injustice. Nothing could be further from the truth. This approach isn't about ignoring problems or accepting unfair situations. It's about choosing the most effective way to create change. And often the most effective way to change the world around you is to change yourself. When you become stronger, more capable, more confident, you're better equipped to stand up against injustice. When you develop your skills and knowledge, you're better able to solve problems and create positive change. When you cultivate inner peace and compassion, you're more likely to influence others in a positive way. So don't think of this as retreating from the world's problem. Think of it as preparing yourself to be a more effective force for good in the world. Because the stronger you become, the more you can lift others up. The more you grow, the more you can contribute to the world around you. When you're so powerful, becoming the best version of yourself, you inspire others to do the same. Your growth encourages others to grow. Your courage gives others courage. Your compassion spreads to those around you. In this way, you create a ripple effect of positive change. You don't defeat your enemies, you transform them. You don't fight against the darkness. You increase the light. And bit by bit, person by person, you help create a better world. This journey of self-mastery and personal growth isn't always easy. There will be days when you feel discouraged, when you face setbacks, when you question whether it's all worth it. In these moments, remember why you started. Remember the person you're becoming, the lives you're touching, the difference you're making, and most importantly, be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Change doesn't happen overnight. You're not looking for quick fixes or temporary solutions. You're in this for the long haul, committed to lifelong growth and improvement. To celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Every step forward is a victory. Every lesson learned is a treasure. Every challenge overcome is a triumph. You're not just changing your life. You're changing the world one choice at a time. Remember, the most powerful force in the universe is within you. It's your ability to choose your thoughts, your actions, your responses to the world around you. This power is always available to you in every moment of every day. So choose wisely. Choose growth over stagnation. Choose love over fear. Choose action over complaint. Choose forgiveness over resentment. Choose gratitude over dissatisfaction. These choices might seem small in the moment, but they shape the course of your life and the impact you have on the world. You have within you everything you need to overcome any obstacle, to rise above any challenge, to become the person you're meant to be. Your potential is limitless. Your capacity for growth is infinite. Your ability to create positive change is boundless. So step into your power. Embrace your journey of growth. Commit to becoming the best version of yourself, because when you do, you don't just change your life. You change the world. You don't just overcome your enemies. You transform them into opportunities for growth, and this is your moment. This is your time. The world is waiting for you to shine your light, to share your gifts, to make your unique contribution. So go forth with courage, with determination, with an unwavering commitment to growth and self-improvement. Remember, the greatest battles are won within. The most important victories are the ones you achieve over your own limitations, your own fears, your own doubts. When you master yourself, you master life itself. So rise up, step forward. Embrace your journey. The world needs what only you can give. And as you grow, as you improve, as you become more of who you're meant to be, you'll find that the concept of enemies simply fades away. Because you'll be too busy shining your light to worry about the darkness. This is your path. This is your purpose. This is your power. Use it wisely. Use it courageously. Use it to create a life and a world that reflects the best of who you are and who you're becoming. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Your future self will thank you for it.